It's always a very interesting experience when I'm asked to talk about Black history or anything Black related. Because I try not to get angry. But I also want to be authentic. Very interesting. And I talk about that because in this particular sermon, we're blending two things. And at first I thought there were two things. What? The Lunar New Year and Black history. Well, why are we blending them? And then I thought about something very important about history itself. When we look at people and history, especially those of color, one thing we've all shared is that we celebrate the solstice. So then when I look at the fact that we all know that Christmas is not the birthday of who we know as Christ, then it all makes sense. Well, I can get everybody on one page because everyone's already celebrating the solstice. So if we tweak the birthday a little bit, I can get you all on this shit, can't I? When I talk about my anger, let's be clear. Never once in my life have I been raised to dislike anyone because of a group they're from. No need to start scrubbing in your seats. I put my fist up and wear dashikis just as much as anyone else from Oakland, yet I know that being proud of being Black does not mean hating anyone. Yeah. Where my frustration comes from is the presence of white supremacy. Yes. That is something that we need to do something about.
Yes.
Now here is what is very important to also know when we talk about this. While we say yes, let's also understand there are very many things we all participate in regularly, and we do not realize that that itself is fanning the flames of white supremacy. I got my car back after a very, very long battle, and I'm very proud of that. The number one reason I'm very proud of that is now when I walk through certain neighborhoods, no one has to be afraid of me anymore. It's a very interesting feeling when you grow up in a neighborhood and gradually you start seeing those faces of those neighborhoods change, and gradually now you feel like an outsider in that neighborhood. There were times when I can walk through Oakland and everyone knew me. I was barely even seen because we all understood each other's mannerisms. Now it's almost when you walk through that same neighborhood, someone will see you, and just like that, the sight of you reminds them, oh yeah, I should press the button on my car alarm. These are the things that many of us deal with, and it is not even talked about. It isn't even a thought in anyone's mind. And yet when we come into a room, we're expected to smile and be nice to everyone so that everyone else can feel comfortable. This is not a guilt trip moment. This is a moment so that we can understand when we say this world needs more love, that also has to come from a place of being willing to put our ego aside and understand each other individually. Yeah. See, this new thought thing we talk about with Science of Mind, it's not an easy thing. I don't talk about it as if I am holier than thou and have no flaws. Oh, I actually tell the difference. I am very flawed. That's how I know that this concept, this thing we love so much is perfect, because it helps someone who is so imperfect like me. When I move my own ego out of the way, so many more blessings come to me, but I have to be willing to do that. Ever see someone in your neighborhood that you've never seen before and feel the need to walk up to them and ask them what they're doing there? You don't have to say it out loud. What I will say is that it's happened to me several times. And what the underlying message there is that you don't belong here. So I want to make you feel like you don't belong here. And we know there is cause and effect. So for you to come with that energy, there's only one kind of energy I can give back to you. Don't pull your phone out now. You're the one who started it. Are we understanding what's going on here? There has to be a willingness to understand each other before we can have this world that works for everyone. That's why Make America Great Again is such an offensive statement.
Yeah. Yes.
Because it's only been great for one group of people. And we know that. So when we talk about sharing, when we talk about a world that works for everyone, let's also understand that that's frightening to those who want that world back again where it only worked for them. That's frightening, and I can understand that. Everything is connected and in you. And when I say everything is connected and in you, I remember the video where they showed how pupils dilating looks like, I think, a star being born, and your bloodstream looks like, they were talking about how all the characteristics of the body have everything to do with what it looks like in the universe itself, and that's because we know there is no separation. Everything is in you. It's also why we study the solstice. And so looking at that, I also like to look at history and realize that many times these things repeat themselves because it's a cycle. When we're celebrating the solstice, when we're celebrating the Lunar New Year, when we're celebrating all these things, what we're really celebrating is a welcoming in of a brand new consciousness. And you can't grow into the beautiful being you were expanding as if you're still holding on to that old version of yourself. And so all you beautiful beings who are ready for that world where regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of orientation, for all of us who are ready for that world, we are just all living and coexisting together and it's all beautiful, please understand that there are those who are afraid of that very image. Because if we're all beautiful, if we're all special, then how will I be noticed? I'm loving how everyone is out with their signs and fighting for peace. I am loving that, but let's also remember one thing that is very important. If we're not working on ourselves first, we're faking. As long as we put the energy outside of us like we're saving something, what we're really doing is distracting ourselves from the inner work we need to be doing. So now we always need to find things to save. But when we concentrate on saving ourselves, when we concentrate on nurturing that beautiful God spirit within us, we're already doing the work to have peace in the world. I'm just convinced at this point that you can't be racist without being jealous. I'm just convinced that there's no way around it. Jealousy and racism are the exact same thing. So when you stop looking at that other person and trying to find reasons to hate them and start loving yourself, there is no reason to hate. Nas said it best when he said, some say hating is confused admiration. So when we see people who have all these jokes about different people who are not them, I get to sit back and be like, you know, you probably had to study those people a lot to come up with that much material, didn't you? Sounds like you don't really dislike them as much as you think. There are only two vibrations in the universe, and that's love and fear. And even fear itself is fake because all fear is the belief in two different forces. Now, I did not grow up Christian, but what I do know is that in every philosophy, the truth is present. And that's why they talk about how even in Christianity, the devil himself was created by God. And then he decided to use this life of God and go to the dark side is what we call it. But even God created that, which means that only God is in existence. So I don't have to be fooled when somebody is showing me their darkness. I get to stand right there and smile and be like, you don't fool me. I know God is in there. So while we're out with our flags, while we're out marching, while we're out staring fascism and hate in its face, let's also remember that what we're talking to is also God. And we get to thank it for forcing us to grow bigger than it. as long as we're acting as if we're helpless and crying, this is an opportunity for all of us to discover the God presence within us, which means those ones who are agitating us deserve our thanks. This is an opportunity. This is a dance. Understand that. As we also study history, I know I'm long-winded, but you asked me to talk about Black history, so this is what you get. There's a moment in Black history that's very important. And I say this for this reason and this reason importantly. And very frightening to say, so bear with me, but someone has to have the courage to say it. I remember being that nerdy kid on my high school campus who would not play hoop, who would not go to the 30 building to shoot dice, would not try to talk on the girls I had a crush on, and I wouldn't do none of that. I would go to the library.
No.
And when I would go my junior year, not my senior year, yes, my junior year I did that. And I would study, and something very interesting happened when I started looking at how often we were experimented on and used as tests. And I did not know why that particular part of our history was so important until COVID came. And the world was now asked to take vaccines. And right then is when I started telling people how uncomfortable I felt about that because of a piece of our history. And it was then where those same people from my community who teased me for going to the library were ready to, yeah, that's right, Tuskegee. Yeah, I don't want to take your shots, Tuskegee. And all I'm saying is that if we also study Black history, we can notice a pattern. That what's often done to the masses started out being something that was just done to us first. And the reason why is because there is no disconnect. There is no disconnect. We are related. We are brother and sister, and though there may be a system that tells us we are different because of color, I am telling the people, what is done to one gets done to all of us. So it's time we love each other. The next Black history lesson, and I'm done, is that Montgomery bus boycott. Well, we were tired of being asked to ride in the back of that bus, so we boycotted the bus. And in order to do that, we all had to organize and share. We all had to carpool. We all had to stop feeling like we needed to live in excess and comfort because we all had something bigger than us to live for. When we talk about loving each other, don't you understand we're talking about revolution? That is revolutionary. Loving each other. You seeing me and not feeling like you need to lock your car alarm. Me seeing you and not automatically thinking this person's probably racist. Us seeing each other and loving each other first until there's a reason to actually feel different. Do you realize how revolutionary that is? Who's really ready for that? Who's really ready to see someone as an extension of themselves and not something different? Who's ready to see the face of God in every face they see, not just here in this beautiful community we call the home of truth? Who's ready? Who's ready? This is a call out. As soon as you leave those doors, someone is going to test it. God is already listening. And when it happens, who is ready? Are you going to show that beautiful love of God that exists within you, or are you going to punk out and run back to that side of hate that we're all told to go to? Who's ready? Namaste, home of truth.